Yeah, you can kind of see through my shirt. Look at that. Hello. Yes, I went to the doctor today. They said it was probably just allergies. My lungs sound fine. I had no fever, none of that stuff. And last year I went in May and had the exact same thing. So it's probably just allergy seasons, and my body is worse now than it used to be when I was younger with allergies. All right. So I went to the doctor. So no more, Gray, go see a doctor. Go see it. No. I've been taking Zyrtec and Flonase forever, and she said to switch it up to Claritin because my body might be used to Zyrtec. So I'm trying that one. Yes, Lanky Tor, I went to the doctor, so if you hear me cough, don't say, Gray, go to the doctor. Alright? Yeah. Although I know you're just looking out for me. Yeah, maybe I'll try Allegra or something, I don't know. Well, I don't know if it's a clean bill of health. You know, I'm still coughing. Crap is still in my lungs, but she said my lungs sound clear and that I don't have a fever. God, what are you doing, Blue? Jesus. Look at Blue up there. What the hell is he doing? What are you doing, buddy? Jesus. You all right? You trying to attack your bed or what? That was some weird shit right there. Yeah, but you can see through my shirt because it's a little bit blue. See that? See, if I had a completely the same color shirt on as my green screen, all you would see is my head and then this portion of my neck and shoulder, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, what was interesting, because I watched the press conference for the Karissa Fretwell case, I think this morning, and the information that I was given early yesterday, way before this came out, was right on the money. So the source that I had was 100% accurate. It wasn't anywhere near where they were saying. You know, they were saying 10 miles east of like this town over here. You know, so it was like way down, or you know, like over in this area, where it was actually up here. Well, you can't see it. Hold on, let me get the. At least I remembered on my own without looking at the chat this time. Yeah. So this is a town that Mike Wolf lived in, and it was 10 or 11 miles west of where he lived. Okay, but when they were first mentioned it, they mentioned a town further south down here, 10 miles west, so it was kind of down in this area. But it was actually way up here. It wasn't even close to what they were saying originally. So there you have it. Now, I drove all the way up this Turner Creek Road, and somewhere around here, they're saying that it turns to gravel sometime around here. And I have the footage now. I went back and I found all those other videos, so maybe we'll just go back over all the videos again, like another journey back to, but now all the other parts that I was missing are in there. Okay, because I tried to sort of put it all together in order. So here we go. Hello, freaks. This is Gray. I'm actually driving towards Salem right now. This is kind of what it looks like just on the drive. I'm going to try to go through the routes that Michael Wolf would have taken that night with Karissa, Fretwell, and William when he killed them. And then somebody messaged me in an email where they actually have a specific location of where they were found, which isn't really that close to where... So right there I'm talking about that email that somebody sent me. Okay, so I'm going to start off at the workplace Michael at the, I guess it's a steel mill or something like that. And then drive to where Karissa lived, where I'd been there before. Oh my God, look at that. That's a raptor right there. See its legs right there, the tail going back, and its head. He's chasing perhaps a bunny rabbit over there. And don't tell me that's not what that is. And then I'm going to drive from there out to where the body was, where the bodies were located, and then drive to his house. And then I'll go back home. Alright, so there you have it. Alright, so that was the first clip. I'm just going to go down in order. Here we go. Yeah, well, here we are. We're driving kind of... And that's not the moon there. That's a lens flare. So we are headed about 19 minutes away from where the barbarian... Oh, God, look at right there. A seahorse. It's floating in the sky. Right there, a seahorse, and then the curly tail going underneath. Oh, my God. They're everywhere. Like wolf lived. Alright, hopefully you guys can see. Got the camera mounted on my above the dashboard there. Actually, it seems like it's pretty good. I can see the miniature. Got the GoPro Hero 7 mounted. When we get to the work. Oh, and by the way, everybody, you're going to be excited about this. I purchased with more of the proceeds that you guys contribute to the channel, I purchased a 360-degree camera. I had one already from a couple of years ago, but that one sucked compared to the one that I just bought, where you can actually attach it to the drone that I got. So imagine how cool that's going to be, everybody. When I fly it over an area, you can actually pause the YouTube video and look in any direction that you want, or while it's playing, you can look around. It's crazy. It's gonna be amazing. Like yesterday when I flew through the woods, you'll be able to look in any direction that you want, whenever the hell you want to look. So I think it would be incredible for searches, because you could just fly a drone over an area, then take the video back, upload it, and then look through it and look at it however the hell you want, and look all around. You know, because when you got a camera, you can't always get everything. And it's actually 5.3 or 5.7K, I think. It's pretty amazing. Yeah, all right. And it was only $399. I think that's pretty amazing. We will turn back on in a few minutes. All right, talk to you later. I'm not sure why I said talk to you later, like we were on the phone or something. All right. Let's listen to the radio there. Looks like we've only got about 2 miles to go until we get to the mill. Almost at the mill, everybody. Almost at the steel mill. Cascade Steel Mill. I keep thinking I want to stop and fly my drone, but I'm on a mission. So I got 2 minutes until we get to the mill. Let's see if I can just find that where the we're going to be coming up this road right here. Looks like it's right off of the road as you turn in, just off to the left. Using Google Earth, it seemed like that anyway. So no, he got there at 6:30. 2 minutes. He works there. I mean, he works from 6:30 to 6:30 in the morning. Map that I'm using. It's very close. Insta 360 1X is the type of 360. All right, so now you can see the blue building in the background, way back there. Maybe I think that's up there, right? See that's it, right? So you look at the let's see. So there's the Cascade Steel mill there, and so I'll go on the road here just so you can get that same look, basically. See, there's the big blue building right there. And like in a minute, you'll probably see us go right through the same intersection. And then there's a bridge right there. So here's that intersection right there. And then we're going to be going over that bridge right here. And then there's the mill. So when I go in the mill, I turn the wrong way, even though I said it's to the left when you go in. I don't know why I drove the wrong way.
Yes, I still got the top. A little different from the looking at Google Earth. I guess this is where it worked right here. In a minute here, I'll stop and try to get my bearings. Matter of fact, I'm going to pull in right here.
Alright, I'll be back in a second. So that's when I went and looked at a map to figure out, okay, yeah, the parking lot's to the left there, even though I knew it before driving in there. So now I just took a left instead.
Okay, so here's the parking area right here. That was the parking Cascade Steel. And I think there's another parking spot right around here. So I think.
Yeah, so that's the main parking lot there.
So you can see the sign to say all. So you can,
let me go back a little bit. Yeah, so like that sign says, notice all activities. Yeah, it's hard to read that. Something about, I can't zoom in on it, that's the problem. It's probably clear. But all activities are monitored by security cameras, is what it says, all right? But I would imagine that this area over here is much more monitored than these sort of side parking areas.
The sign to say all movements are monitored.
That says the same thing.
Okay, now I think on Google Earth, here is where this is that pond that you can see, and I think that's the Carpenter building across the way over there. I don't know if you can see it through the fence. But, let me see if I can get a little further over there.
Now I'm confused what angle I'm looking. Oh yeah, right there. So there's the pond. I just drove like this.
Yeah.
I drove right in there, took a left, and this is that pond right there.
So you could have parked.
See, there's the pond right there.
But let me see if I can get a little further over there.
Let's see, in that building and that building are right here. This building and that building. Right there. So then I just went around the corner there and I just drove to...
So you could have parked over in this parking lot, right over here.
Right there. And right now I'm struggling to take the GoPro off of its mount. I did figure it out though, I figured it out. Yeah. So I think this is the pond that you can see on Google Earth, right here. And so I'm standing right there, basically, right in this area, right there. I think he parked somewhere over there and he maybe walked around and then jumped over one of these fences, and I think he probably parked right over here in one of these parking spots that's sort of hidden from surveillance, because the other entrance has the surveillance notification. Alright, so this is what it looks like. I think this is the fence that he might have had to go over. And this is the parking spot.
I think right in here.
It's dark outside right now. I don't know how I could be there right now.
So you could probably park here. Probably took his golf cart from the main building way over there, drove it over here so he could cross over the fence to get into this hidden parking spot. So it's probably something like that.
Yeah. All right. So there's that one. And then let's get to the next one. All right.
Well, now I'm leaving the parking lot at the mill, steel mill, and I'm going to head over to where Karissa lived. I'm kind of confused because I'm looking at the program that I use for navigation, and it's saying that it's 38-minute drive, 26 miles. And if I remember right, it seemed like 15 minutes he was already pinging in Salem. However, to be honest with you, they made other errors on that document, so maybe they were just off. It could have been like 9:20 instead of 9. Who knows? But either way, I am now heading in that direction right now. To my left right now, as we were just driving by, is the big mill. You can't see it anymore because you're just looking through the dash cam. But big blue building with this cascade steel on it.
That's where we came in originally.
Now I gotta get back onto 99 West and head the opposite direction that I just came from. I don't even know if you guys can hear me at all, but I am talking to my GoPro camera.
So this is what he would have done when he was at work, and then he's going to be heading to her house.
I'm about to get close to that area. I will then turn on the camera again. All right, everybody. So, freaks, be patient. All right.
See, I'm actually thinking of you guys on the road, right? All right, here we go.
So, I think that he left the work area right there. I think it was what they say around 8:15, was it? Or 6?
No, it was like 8:55. I was trying to remember. Maybe it was
8:30 or so. So he left his work at 8:30, 8:55. I think is what they actually said. And then his phone started pinging around like 9:10 or so. This is just off of memory. In Salem, which doesn't make a ton of sense given that it's over 20-something miles. Now, one thing to consider is that I'm driving right now at 3:56, so there's a lot more traffic out here than he would have seen that time of night. It's not rush hour anymore. Especially when he does after he kills Karissa and William in the apartment, and then I believe probably loads them up in that back alley. He probably waits till pretty late at night. Yeah.
Okay, so I was doing that by memory. So the thing is Michael was seen at approximately 8:45 p.m. leaving that mill, where he works, traveling in a golf cart to a carpenter shop, and then walking into a tree line. So, maybe he was out of there at 8:48. Who knows, right? And then his phone pings. Let's see, where does it say that? There too, around 8:55, Michael's phone begins using cell towers indicating he was moving. Yeah, so at 8:55, his phone is pinging, indicating he's moving south, just like we're doing on the video that you're watching. So he's heading in that direction. And then Michael's phone begins to use cell towers, indicating it was moving south. And then at approximately 9 o'clock, his phone is using a cell tower in downtown Salem. See, that part's weird to me because, that's 12 minutes after he left, and it's 23 miles. So something is off on either the time, the clock's at the work, or somebody just wrote the wrong thing down. Maybe it wasn't supposed to be 9, it was supposed to be 9:10. 9:10 would make sense.
Sometime after 1 when we came up with, I might have even been 2. And he loads them up, and then he drives all the way out to a remote area to bury their bodies. And I think that...
but he actually went back to work
no
first.
At all during that time. So, however, you know, there are cops out there, so he probably...
I forgot that when I was saying that.
The entire time, but really had no wait time. You know, he was never waiting for traffic like I'm about to do right now. Okay? So, just a thought that I had. I'll be back in a little bit. Yeah, something that's interesting that just happened just now is when driving from the steel mill, and the map, you know, using the navigation map, it actually drives right by that web route, I think it was web route road, where they had searched that one time where I drove out there, and they said there was no trespassing. So you can tell that this is probably the same route.
Holy crap, see, there's a squid flying right there. You see, that's the big body and then the 5 legs on there. Now, don't try to tell me it's not. You'd have to be blind not to know that that's an actual squid in the air.
That he took. Okay, and they must have known that based on his pinging information. So maybe even that's why they checked that area. I don't know. I don't know if it's true, but it's interesting that we're driving right now on the same route that I originally took from her house to where they searched that the one time that I came out before. All right, just thought I'd throw that out there for you.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it was for me in the Kanika Jenkins case. You know, people just see whatever the hell they want to see. Here we go.
Alright, well, right now we are 1.8 miles from her apartment. I'm pretty sure, I mean, I don't know for sure what his route is, but it seems likely that he took this one just with not much traffic. So he could probably do the drive at 8 at night in about 23 minutes, probably. Something like that, which is kind of close. I mean, 8:55, 9:10 at ping. So, you know, if he drove like 80 miles an hour, maybe it was close enough to ping a tower Salem. I don't know.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I'm just looking at the documents again. The same tower it pinged at 9, it was still pinging at 9:43 when he was over at Karissa's house. I mean, I'm assuming he was at her house at that time. That's what makes sense. I think he went straight there. So how did his phone, you know, he leaves work at 8:45. They see him heading in the cart over to the parking area, and then his phone's already pinging in Salem at 9 when Salem's 23 miles from there. And then it's still pinged at 9:42 at that same tower. I mean, you can go 5 miles in any direction, but I don't know. It's kind of confusing. I guess maybe that tower picked him up when he was, 6, 7, 8 miles away, and maybe it kept engaging him as he came in. That's possible too. So maybe he wasn't really fully into Salem until like 9:08 or something like that.
Seems like they're just off by a little bit, or maybe the clocks at the steel mill are a little bit fast. Hard to say, but it looks like we're going to be coming up to
Let's see what's that road? Yep, getting close to her house right now.
Oh boy, there we go again. Let's see. I kind of got on the wrong little street here, but I'll be there in a second. Got 0.3 miles to go. It's on Rouge Street, R-U-G-E. Now what I'll do is I'll pull up in front, and then I'm going to park my car in the alley that's behind it. Okay. A couple blocks here. It's just so weird driving around, knowing probably somebody was killed, most likely in their house, is right here.
One thing that's interesting listening to the press conference is they say that we think they were abducted on the 14th, but we can only verify that they were for sure killed by the 16th. Okay, but everyone always takes that to mean. But he said they could have been killed on the 14th. We can only verify that they were killed. I wonder how they can do that, though. And what does that mean by abducted? I mean, if you go into somebody's home and keep them there against their will, isn't that abduction? Or do you have to actually take them out alive? Because he kind of said that a few times. So I was like, that's interesting. Where would he have put them? I mean, he could have, at gunpoint, made them go out to his vehicle, and then he drove them. Well, but then how did he go back to work? See, I don't know. I'm not really buying. I mean, I don't think that he abducted them, because if he went back to work, they could have gotten free somehow in the vehicle, right? But we'll have to think about that later.
Okay, so here we go. And the apartments are right here on the right.
Oh, you could just use a muffle it or however,
Right there. Okay. And then I'm going to go...
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, rascal.
Around the back side. Like a garage sale going on. The alley might be right here. That's right.
Yeah, so let me just back up a little bit. So these people were doing a garage sale right in front of the, let's see. I think she's actually lived in this one right there. So right now on the map, we are 1065 Rouge Street. So right now, when you're looking at that, my car is probably right here. And then what I'm about to do is go around this corner right here, just like this, and then go down this alley right there, all right? Just to give you the heads up.
You can't see them very well, but they're right there. Okay, and then I'm going to go around the back side. Like a garage sale going on. And the alley might be right here. That's right. Right here. So I think he actually drove and pulled right into here.
Yeah, 1065 is the next one over. Did it quicker that time, huh? Still coughing, still coughing.
Yeah, I think actually what I had was allergies. I remember this happening last year.
Yeah, see, and that's what they said.
Okay, so I think this is it right here.
Yeah, well, it's different because I found a lot of the footage that I didn't have in it. So there's no gaps. Like, I left out a lot of crap last night. So I put the phone in my pocket because there was a lady there. I didn't want her to see.
Oh, I do YouTube. True crime. I live in Portland, and I've been covering it since the beginning. I just wanted, I live in this town. I used to cover all around the country, but I thought I'd drive over here. It's just so weird.
It's hard.
It's weird.
It's very hard on the people who actually live there.
Yeah. I mean, it must be kind of. I mean, at least you know it's not some weird psycho that's out stalking you. Okay.
That's not really
Oh, you did?
about it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Grey Hughes investigator.
Yeah.
She said she watched my video on YouTube.
And I kind of have a feeling like he parked back there.
But anyways,
I don't.
I'll just move it past. She talks about, she said she's a Republican and everything. I didn't even ask her. Of course, any of the liberals on here would get angry that even somebody who I accidentally filmed say that would go, oh gosh, I can't believe you have politics on your channel. Oh, I'm gone.
So forth, I wanted to-
Guilty as hell.
Oh yeah. There's no chance he didn't. You
I
know,
want him to fry.
0.
She said she wants him to fry.
Say it's so liberal or not too.
See that liberal? See that?
If it was
I actually
Texas,
bring that up a few times on my show. They don't like it. You know, because I'm in Oregon, right?
I might live in Oregon, but I'm a Republican.
She says, I may live in Oregon, but I'm a Republican. I didn't even bring it up. All right? She said Kate Brown should get fired.
That's my personal. Oh,
So anyways, let me go on to the next clip.
Yeah, this might have been how he pulled out. Just driving down. There's the little alley here. It might have gone the other direction, actually.
Seems like I'm still missing the clip where I went to the door.
Back,
But,
I'll
oh
go
well.
back through that right now.
Oh, maybe I do. Oh yeah, I do drive over.
Might, I don't know if I'll play it, but I just spoke to somebody sitting on the front yard waiting for to be picked up, but I didn't videotape it. So here's that alley right here.
Yeah, you probably went out that way though. Yep, lots of pine trees.
If you use maps to get there, you can go this direction. Now the thing is, it's telling me it's going to take an hour and 10 minutes for me to get there.
Hour and 10 minutes to get to the... So from there it said it would take an hour and 10 minutes to get to where the bodies were buried or dumped, however he did it. Apparently they were covered, but they were still able to find the bodies. But the thing is he actually went back to work first.
So...
And then from work, it's only a 20-something minute drive.
I think that's because...
Or
right
30
now
minutes,
it's during
maybe.
rush hour. But this is also a little bit further away.
And I'm also driving in rush
Person I've been
hour, so...
Speaking to, she mentioned that she used to be up there doing some work. And that it's possible that the cell phone you could get cell phone reception even being like 10 miles away from the tower or 12 miles away from the tower. Okay, so I don't know. We don't know exactly when he drove up there. It seems most likely, though, that when he left Salem, he had the bodies with him. I doubt he would go back again the next day or something like that, because he had no clue if anybody was going to go over to that house. Okay, so right now I'm headed towards the location the bodies were apparently found.
But then I realized after I was driving that you got to go back to his work first. All right, so there's that one.
See, look at this right here. This is now I've punched in how to get to the place where the bodies were. That road.
Yeah, this road right there. That's where you go down where they searched that very first time. And I actually pulled over right around in this area, flew my drone up in the air just to do it, but I forgot to turn the record button on. Remember that?
Right in front of us, right there. That's what led out to the area that they searched. That we showed on Google Earth back when this all began, when they were searching for the bodies. They went out and down that road off to the right. And this field to your right here that we're looking at, that's the field that I flew the drone over just for the hell of it that same day. So it's bizarre how everything, obviously he was using, like, he's from the area, so he knows how to drive, but it almost seems like he's using one of these navigation programs, because everything just keeps going past each other. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we pass the mill again. And in fact, he does go to the mill first, and then he drives out to the location he put the bodies of Karissa and William Fretwell. Okay, if we pass it, I'll see if I can notice it, but right now I've already plugged in the location of where the bodies were found. So I think I'm going to just go straight there, and then we can...
Oh my God, look at, there's an owl right there. You see the eyes right there, and then the nose? It's crazy. It's got a weird rest of his body, though. Oh, my other computer's yelling at me now. Open your email. Yeah. It's crazy, though.
Just kind of look on a map on maybe alternate route that he might have taken had he gone to the... because he does go to the mill first, and then he leaves the mill. And I think from the mill to the location might be like a half hour. Okay. Right now I still have 51 minutes to go and 30 miles to get to that location. But I am driving right now on the same road that I took from the mill to her house, Carissa's home. So this must be the quickest way, because these
and he's driving around at like 9, 9 and 2.
The fact that I
1:30.
passing the same locations over and over again means that is probably the route he took, and they're pretty remote. They're not exactly freeway.
Oh, look at that, a lobster claw. I mean, that is an absolute... If anybody denies that this is a lobster claw right there, even with the extra joints on it, you are a fool. That's what they would do in the Kanika Jenkins case.
They probably have very little traffic at the time of night that he was driving around at.
I think I was actually traumatized by the Kanika Jenkins case. I have PTSD. I should actually get money because of PTSD covering that case.
Well, now we're in a town called McMinnville.
Actually, it wasn't in McMinnville yet. It was 5 more miles.
Or heading towards McMinnville, at least. Maybe this is McMinnville. I can't remember now. Yeah, so we got another 20 miles to go. I guess 5 miles to McMinnville. I guess that's just some smaller town outside of it. Yeah, basically back traced almost all the way that you would go to get to the mill not sure if we've turned. Rock
Yeah.
Which,
So I plugged in the address of where the bodies were found, and you drive right by the mill again.
I'm not sure if we've. If I went a different direction now that I went into that little town that I was just in, I don't know what direction. That's now we're heading away from the mill. Seems like. So I am just going by the directions that Google Maps is giving me on my navigation program. All right, so I'll turn it back on in a few more minutes. And look at that! Right in front of me now is Cascade Steel off to the left there. Don't you guys find that a little strange? Right there. Unbelievable. So he went back to Cascade Steel, so I guess we can go do that whole thing. That's what I'm going to do. Everything that he would do. So he's back to Cascade Steel. He goes in here. And then he takes a left. Parking area coming up to it right now, and then I think again he drove. I don't know if I had to go in that way. I can't remember now. Yeah, so he probably went into this right here, and then to avoid sort of the main area with all the surveillance, as you can see. As a matter of fact, let me back up a little bit here. It says right on that sign, all activities monitored by video camera. Okay, that's what it said. However, I think probably it does say that here too. All activities monitored. But that might just be one of those warning, ones that scare people away, and not actually surveillance in this area. Maybe he knew that, so he probably parked somewhere. Hell, maybe even over here. Look how good this would be for a spot, And then he parked his golf cart somewhere back over by a building off to the left. You can't see it. I showed it to you earlier though. And then I think the bodies were actually in the vehicle at this point. And then when he left work after 2 o'clock, I think it was getting closer to 3 if I remember right, he then drove out
2:52.
and he probably programmed in where he was going to go. I have that already programmed in myself. And he leaves out the parking driveway. He heads on this way. You can see Cascade Steel right there.
So this is actually also heading towards where he lives. He lives out in this direction.
And in a moment here, I'll be back out on the road, headed towards apparently where the bodies were dumped. And we don't really know if they were dumped or if he buried them. When I picture somebody dumping, like they just sort of throw them off the side of the road, I don't think that's exactly what happened here. Alright, so now I'm back out on the road. And hopefully this is the right direction. Alright.
Oh God, look at that, a chicken. There's the head, and then its feet there, and then the body and the tail back there. Or a roadrunner, perhaps.
And it is. I'm just going to keep on going this way. So he left his work, and now he's heading off into the mountains where he is going to place the bodies. And I'll be back on in a little bit. Yeah, unbelievable Very pretty area out here. Just kind of winding my way through. This is like all like wine country out here. It's crazy. Lots of other types of farming. But now about 9 miles away. But as you can see, we're heading towards the mountains.
See, this is probably the exact route that he drove. It's the quickest way to get there from his work. You know, but he could have, I guess he could have put the bodies somewhere else, and then the next day drove him out there without his phone or something. Who knows? This just makes more sense, what I'm doing right now. If it's not right, it's not right, but for me, it makes the most sense.
Now we're starting to see the forest. It's up near a reservoir. I'll let you guys know the name of it. I'll actually do it right here. Creek Reservoir.
Wow, I don't know if you guys saw that, but
Creek
there's a sturgeon right there. It's amazing.
Reservoir. Kind of showing you what it looks like on the way out to this area, and I'll turn it back on in a little bit.
See, this is the part you guys didn't see yesterday too.
Cars on this road.
So this is that road. Let's see if we can figure out where the hell this is.
After around 3 o'clock.
Let me get on my map here.
There's going to be a soul out here, 3 a.m. You know, people are sleeping. There's very little traffic. I'm actually surprised it's this well paved, although, you know, the houses are so nice, and this is a, you know, really high income pieces of land out here. Maybe that's why it's paved. It's just out, literally out in the middle of nowhere. Although they wouldn't think that. Yeah. Now.
So this spot right here is where I flew a drone at the end. I stopped right here and flew it, or right around in this area. Maybe it was closer to there, but flew it up in the air and went out that direction. So let's see if I can figure out where this is now before we go any further. Feels like that's about right here. Didn't I take a hard left going into there?
I'm glad I have my Subaru. It's out, literally out in the middle of nowhere. Although they wouldn't think that.
So no hard left. Deal with it.
Yeah, now I'm glad I have my Subaru.
Northwest Turner. Might be like right there. So if it, in a minute here, if it makes a turn to the right, that's probably the spot. After this right here.
Apparently, the last portions of this aren't really the greatest roads.
Yeah, look at that. See, it looks like right now I'm on the straightaway right there, and then that clump of trees is what you see up in the ahead of you on the right.
So right now we've got 5.9 miles to go until we get to Turner Creek Reservoir.
And it should turn to the right up here.
See why people live out here, though. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And if you had a lot out here, how peaceful that would be every day to come home. My parents' property.
And then a hard right coming
like
up.
That. But they just finally sold it after. They've owned it since '76, built down there in 1990, and it just sold it.
Yeah. It's a hard right.
In the center, Washington. And I just purchased, with the donations.
So right there, that means at that point, took the hard right, we're right here at this point, right there, just making this turn. Okay, so it's going to be a long straightaway, and then it starts veering to the left a little bit.
You guys sent me, I purchased a 360-degree camera, and it was relatively inexpensive, only $399, and then I bought a mount for the GoPro camera, and I think that's going to add a ton. That's going to be incredible. That means while it's flying up in the air, I can upload the video. I mean, not while it's flying I can upload the video, but I can upload the video and you can look around in any direction while it's up in the air. So I can literally just hover it in a spot.
I didn't even know I said that.
Just slowly move it around, and then you can look around wherever you want.
And now it's going to start to turn to the left a little bit.
The key is, I guess I would have to be able to.
Yeah.
There's two different ways you can mount it on top of the drone or the bottom, but I would imagine the bottom would be much more effective because then you can look on the ground. And I think I would even put it at a slight angle so that the seam of the 360 isn't straight down. And there's also, it even had, I think, image stabilization in that 360 camera because it wouldn't be part of the gimbal of the drone itself, which is why it's so stable. So, anyways, thought I'd let you guys know that. And I'll turn it back on here in a couple minutes.
So I think we're getting close to down in this area now. Let's see. Let me go back a little bit. Yeah, that's that big field.
And it was relatively inexpensive, only $399, and then I bought a mount for the GoPro camera, and I think that's going to add a ton. That's going to be incredible. Because that means while it's flying up in the air.
Yeah, so I think that was right here, past this field, and then there would be, wasn't there like a little bridge or something? Ah, crap.
I'm glad I have my Subaru. You know, apparently the last portions of this aren't really the greatest roads. So right now we've got 5.9 miles to go till we get to Turner Creek Reservoir.
Hey, thanks, Jules. Streamlabs.
Thanks for all your work.
I appreciate it.
I can see why people live out here, though. Unbelievable.
Okay, so you take that long pass right here, and then it starts turning right. That's right, and it does the full loop around, and then I think I know where this is right here, so let me just... That's when I follow this along.
If you had a lot out here, how peaceful that would be every day to come home. My parents' property was like that, but they just finally sold it after they've owned it since '76, built down there in 1990, and they just sold it in the center, Washington. And I just purchased, with the donations.
And then right there is going to be on this corner, so it's just about to make that turn. Then there's basically a long straightaway.
You guys sent me, I purchased a 360-degree camera, and it was relatively inexpensive. It was only $399, and then I bought a mount for the GoPro camera, and I think that's going to add a ton. That's going to be incredible. That means while it's flying up in the air, I can upload the video. I mean, not while it's flying I can upload the video, but I can upload the video and you can look around in any direction while it's up in the air. So I could literally just hover it in a spot and just slowly move it around, and then you can look around wherever you want to look. The key is, I guess I would have to be able to, there's two different...
Okay, so that's probably, now we're right here. So it should go straight again, and then start turning to the left.
Ways you can mount it on top of the drone or the bottom, but I would imagine the bottom would be much more effective, because then you can look on the ground. And I think I would even put it at a slight angle so that the seam of the 360 isn't straight down.
Okay. Now we're right there. And then it should go past some woods and then a long field.
And there's also, it even had, I think, image stabilization in that 360.
And here's the long field.
It wouldn't be part of the gimbal of the drone itself, which is why it's so stable.
Hey, thanks, Lanky Tor.
So, anyways, thought I'd let you guys know that. Turn it back on here in a couple of minutes.
Welcome new subscribers. We appreciate you all heart.
Okay, so I think we're about right here now.
Wow, look at this. It's like a tunnel of woods. But I'm definitely still on the right track here. We've only got 3.2 miles to go. So it's not far away.
That means it's only 0.3 to get to the where I had to stop.
Driving right in this area. But if you can tell...
Alright, let's see. Where the hell is that? I think we might be like right here.
really remote. And once you find, look at, there's somebody building a home right there, really nice little house. But as you can tell, somebody's driving. You know, you're way out in the middle of nowhere here. There's really.
I think there's a pond maybe
Totally
to the left
isolated.
there.
So if you found a little.
I think there might be a pond just off to the left right there. I don't know, it's hard to see it. See, that's just it. I gotta see if I can find some of these roads. Like, I think I just drove by that one a minute ago. So in a minute, there should be a road that goes off. And actually, when I was flying my drone, I could see this house right there. Now that I remember it.
Off the beaten track out here. See, right now I'm down on gravel.
Okay, I think that road right there is what I'm talking about. So that's right there, and then the road becomes gravel right here. Although, you know, you look at that, well, that does look like gravel, right? That doesn't look paved. So I think we're right there is where it becomes gravel. And I actually walked up to about right here and flew the drone in the air. But I forgot to hit record that time, and then I walked back a little bit further and did it the next time.
Okay, that's what I was told. So what does this say right here? It says, private property, no motorized public access. Huh?
Now you can't drive. You can walk
I
though.
can't go any further. I thought I was able to keep going on this. Private property, no motorized public access. Violators will be prosecuted.
I had somebody email me saying, "Hey, we're thinking of going out there. Maybe Saturday night." And I'm like, hell no, I'm not going anywhere near that area at nighttime.
Huh, well, I don't think I want to do that now. Well, just take a look at where we're at right here. It's out in the middle of absolutely nowhere, but gosh, I still got another 2.9 miles to go.
That's to get to the reservoir.
Yeah, see, let me show you this sign right here. Hold on. See that? There's a sign right there that says, gate ahead, maybe close at any time. That's not the main point. It's private property, no motorized public access. Well, that's what I've got. Violators will be prosecuted.
I guess you could bring a bike up there.
Shoot. Oh, that's hard. That's something I wasn't told.
Well, Weyerhaeuser owns all that land. I should have said, hey, I've met Weyerhaeuser. Because I did, when I did the Smoke Tree Ranch documentary. Should have pulled that card out.
Warning. My God, they're really...
Not that they'd give a shit,
But it's saying no motorized vehicle. I don't really want to walk 3 miles. I don't know this area. I'm not sure about the land out there. But as you can see right here, this is where he went. Okay? He knows.
See, he knew that this gate was open, and at nighttime nobody's going to monitor it.
That late at night.
Apparently this gate right here stays open until fire season. They just don't tell people that.
Nobody's going to be out here, right? So you have this gate right here that stays open. Apparently this gate stays open all the way through until fire season. That's what I was told. And you know, he may have known that. So he drives out there, goes way out in the middle of the woods, apparently near the reservoir. It's strange. Why would the reservoir be on private property then? That's kind of confusing. I think there's another way in there. I know I see another road on my map, but it comes in from quite a ways away.
Yes, you're too late.
I guess I could drive up a little bit and then turn around.
Yeah. I wish I could have just kept driving. I should have just went another
It
half
does say
mile.
walk in only.
I should have said, well, I missed a sign, and then I was trying to find a place to turn around.
I wonder if I could walk over to there and sort of just...
I'm just skipping it forward.
to the. Yeah.
Alright, so basically I'm putting my drone together at this point. This is like an 11-minute thing. I walked way out there in the wait. Yeah, like I walked way up there. You can see me way up in the background there. And I put the actually take the drone off, but I didn't record that time for some reason. I forgot to hit the record button. I wonder if you can actually see it shoot up in a second. Oh, whoa. Oh, I bent over. It looked like I disappeared in the thin air. Man, that would have really sold in the Kanika case how I bent over and the dark went away, so it must have disappeared. Can you guys even see me way out there, that little dot? Huh. How come I'm walking back? Okay, so I think I decided that it was a better, more of a clearing right there. Can I zoom in on this? Oh, no. Zoom to fill. Now, they wouldn't give away how they found that out. You kind of wonder if he had something in his car that he forgot about. You know, maybe he was using navigation, right? Although, apparently, he had been there before. I'll play the press conference after this. Hell, I can't see it. I'm just skipping it minutes at a time here. Yeah, look at that. Oh, you can see it right there. See, right? I started to land it, and then I put it into tripod mode. So it's actually hovering right there, I think. Now watch in a minute. I just have it, it's flying right in front of me at this really slow rate. And then I have it, I turn here and I have it go through into the woods. And that's that video that you guys saw. See, there it is right there. You can barely see it, but right there. I flew it into the woods. Yeah, so anyways, I come back with it. It's flying in the air. It's actually still in the air right in this area. And then I don't know if this is the actual flight that I recorded. So the road goes around. That's that house that I was saying was off that road that you could see on Google Earth, which is right there, that house. So basically I'm flying up in the air and I'm looking out that direction, but I guess they were found somewhere off of one of these fingers right there. So not too far away from there. And believe it or not, that's actually like right when it's paused and it doesn't do that, it's playing. That was paused though. Oh man. So you guys saw all this yesterday though. So flying up in the air, looking out over the area. Then I came down, and what you just saw a minute ago is I flew it into the woods over here. And this is where it'd be awesome to have the 360-degree camera on it, right? Because then you could look all around. That's that little road that leads to the house back there. But hell, I think I could have even gone down through there. That'd been pretty cool. See, I'm looking around, but with 360, you could just do this whenever you felt like it. You could pause the video and then look around. So look at that. That's me landing the drone onto the hood of the car. How you like that? Shoot. Yeah, and you can actually see it land on the car using from the drone's eye with the other camera. I think it was on this one. Yeah, so right now it's going to land on that hood. So I could actually edit this together where it would all sync up, right? I would actually time it up with when it landed and then go back in time. And I could go back, boom. So it lands on the hood right there. And that's just what you were seeing in that other video. Okay, now that earlier spot that I told you I took off from there. Look how clear those colors are. I'm not sure what you're talking about, easy oven operator. Nah, I'll still be doing all that stuff. This is just, I got a drone too. Alright? CGI is actually really important because if, you can film all you want, but you have to recreate something. You can either get actors or you can do it yourself. That doesn't sound like the Kanika Jenkins narrative. I don't know what that means. Their narrative was that her kidneys were, her organs were removed and she was being cooled down in the freezer because Bill Murray, he bought the hotel, but he's friends with Selena Gomez. God, look at Jen Richardson, or Richards, whatever the hell her name is. She's so ludicrous. I mean, she comes in here. Nobody even said a word to her. Yeah, see, here's what's funny about Jen is nobody said anything that she's claiming people said. She's an embarrassment, okay? She shows up here 2 nights in a row. Nobody knows what the hell she's talking about. She said everybody wished cancer on the killer of somebody, and that's not really what people were doing. This was last night, okay? So Jen Richards needs to go back to school and try to learn comprehension skills, all right? See, last night we did an episode on a crime that was solved from it was 50 years old, where a guy murdered a woman and strangled her to death and raped her. And then, when they finally tracked down the killer, it turns out he died 10 years ago from throat cancer, and he suffocated to death. And we thought, wow, how poetic that was. Poetic justice. And, I don't think anybody cares that that's how he died. And Jen took it as her own personal crusade to try to come up with the real meaning behind everybody's words when it had absolutely nothing to do with what Jen Richards was saying at all. Okay? Nobody said anything. And then she came on way later, a whole nother show, and just went off like a whack job. I mean, it was embarrassing. Okay? So now she came on and said, true crime instead of hi, and being a jerk to your subscribers. No worries. Found better. I'm sure you have. I'm sure you're over there with good old Miss Effin' Wonderful, huh? Hope that cough isn't cancer, and I hope the money I donated went to a good cause. Adios, freaks. Yeah, I'm sure it did. Jen, I'm sure I bought some drones. Yeah. But what you said on this channel was complete bullshit, okay? Nobody said anything that you said. I'm sorry that you have cancer. Everybody feels bad, okay? But that had nothing to do with what we were talking about, okay? And so I don't know why you came on here. I actually think you're like trying to create drama. And look how it worked again. You showed up on here, you make your comments, and they make no sense at all to anybody who's rational, who was there watching how the conversation went. All right? And make sure you unblock Jen, though, okay? She doesn't need to be blocked. She just needs to be able to say what she wants to say so her comments will be revealed, because they're absolutely ludicrous. Okay? They make no sense. Yes, because I donate, I can say whatever the hell I want, and even if it doesn't make sense, I can cut down your whole channel and the way you do your show because I donated. No? How about this? Don't donate then. I don't care. Okay? I love when people contribute to the show, okay, that really like the show, but you obviously didn't, and you got offended by something that never happened, and that's all on you. Nobody else has anything to do with what you are claiming. Okay? Yes. People were like, I'm glad he had to suffer after what he did to that lady. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Okay? I don't think there's anything wrong with it at all. But nobody said, boy, I'm glad he got cancer. No, not one person said that. What they said was, wow, that's poetic justice. The way he died, suffocating to death, just like he did to that woman 50 years ago. All right, so just grow up, okay? Try to pay attention to what people are saying.
Interesting. Got a lot of pollen out here, I'll tell you that. But interestingly, I was leaving, and then I found an opening, and then I put in the address of where the barbarian lived, and it has me go back towards where I had to stop to where the reservoir was just a few minutes ago. Okay, so there must be another turn somewhere. But it seems like, it's just weird how everything kind of overlaps. I mean, I know these aren't the only roads to get everywhere, but I drove far enough out to get a signal. I actually think there's cell towers out here around in the area. I got too many bars for there not to be. Like I have 3 bars, and I'm kind of in the middle of nowhere yet again. So I'm heading back in that same direction. And I think when we get down, there's near where I kept going straight and then I just had to stop, there's a left you take. And that goes towards where...
Hey, thanks, ESVK.
Great detective work, Gray.
Yeah, and then, I mean, we all showed where he lived. I don't want to go through that video again, but he lived not too far away. I'll just do it on Google Earth. So I wound around through the mountains, ended up over at his house right here. Let's see, how did that... Yeah, from this road right here, I drove up, and then drove by his house, and then turned around right here, came back this way. It's really nothing special about... He doesn't seem like he really kept up the house that well, to be honest with you. So it's just, like, right back here. I mean, hell, it looks almost like a junkyard in the back there. I mean, everybody else has a nice, beautiful lot. He was probably the embarrassment of the community up there. See, that's like everybody else has these nice places where he's up there, and clunkers all over the property, just trash. Thanks, Lanky Tour.
We have really amazing freak family. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, thank you to all the new subscribers. I appreciate it. We're kind of having a slow move up through 34 to 35, but you know, every day there's a few more than I had the day before. But you know, this month has been a little slower, like 20 to 30, 40 a day, something like that. There hasn't been any of those really big cases, and I'm not. I don't try to do the ones like, if I did Chris Watts for a week, throwing out a bunch of crap, I probably could get another 1,000 people. Except they only care about Chris Watts. Yeah. So, anyways, sorry you guys had to deal with somebody like Jen who came in here. She really, I don't even know what she was doing last night. She was talking, and then we all just kind of went, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I mean, we're not wishing it on anybody. And then it just kind of everything settled down. And then, like, literally an hour later, it's almost like she was smoking pot and then sort of, oh, yeah, and then remembered something. She came on and said, oh, okay, well, then I'm going to, it's like, wow, who are you talking to? Nobody was even talking to you anymore. It was unbelievable. Really strange. I mean, I think you guys were here to see that. I mean, I was actually like, what are you talking about? So that's where he lived, and then let's just do the press conference now. This might be like a shorter live tonight. And this is what's cool about this is that same detective that was in that case that we talked about a long time ago with the not detective, the same, I don't know what you call him, prosecutor, as the case where the girl that they were at the wedding and then her mom was driving and then she got flung out of the car, where he gave that great press conference where the reporters were asking absolutely idiotic questions. And then he actually said, remember that part where he said, yeah, she was in the car. All right, so I'm just going to fast forward it. Let me, that's quiet. That's too quiet, right? I'm going to have to boost this up here.
I thought it was really important.
Oh, there you go.
In trying to answer some of the questions today, that we have these guys here. This has been really a relentless investigation. It's been an investigation that's been totally collaborative between members of the Anthem County Sheriff's Office and the Salem PD.
This is KATU.
These guys earlier this morning that we've not really worked with Salem PD very much, but this has been this is how it should work. When you cross jurisdictions, crime doesn't stop at a county line. It just works, and the ability of them to all work together really has brought us to the point where, as you know, the bodies were recovered yesterday. So a couple caveats before we get started on questions. Some of the questions you ask I may not know the answer to. I may turn to these guys. I will tell you many of the detectives involved in this case are not here today. And that's in part they're getting a well-deserved couple of days off. They've been working just 24/7, it seems like. So they're getting a little bit of time off now that we've kind of reached the point we're at. We're going to share a little information about where the bodies were recovered, because I'm sure we're going to get that question. And then I'm going to open it up to questions. Again, back on a couple of caveats. One, there are a lot of things that we can't share with you. This investigation continues on. When we had the same kind of meeting after the original arraignment of Mr. Wolf, it was the same kind of rules that we have today. I'll answer what I can, but just bear with me if I tell you that I can't get into a particular area on it. There are two things we have to protect. One, the ongoing investigation. The other thing is I have an obligation ethically as a prosecutor to see that we don't do anything to impair the defendant's ability to get a fair trial. So our keeping information rather than trying it in the press, as the saying goes, is important to see that he has an opportunity to defend himself completely. So with that, I'm going to, these guys know a little better than I can. Kill that line a little. I'm going to show you just a couple of things here so that you can, I'm going to have to move, there it is. So as you're looking at this area, this is the city of Yamhill. And I'm going to show it here on the other map, city of Yamhill. And if you're coming out of Yamhill is Pike Road, which turns into Turner Creek Road, and then comes up into this area, this very heavily wooded area, about 10 miles west of the city of Yamhill. This is kind of hard to see the roadways from a typical satellite view, but that's why we asked, through the courtesy of the Yamhill County Assessor's Office, we asked that this be put up for us. So this is the city of Yamhill here, down in the corner. And then this is the area where the bodies were recovered, up in this area. And this is the blow-up of this area. So this is Turner Creek Road. It's about here that it goes from paved to gravel. It was about another mile.
See, that's right where the paved to gravel is.
Gravel. There are a couple of spur roads that come off of it that ultimately the search began.
It was a little bit more than
concentrate on.
a mile and a half.
There have been other searches up in this area prior to this that were fruitless, that did not develop anything for us. But this is the area where we were, where the investigators were, and ultimately the two bodies were found.
See, that's right there.
So with that, then, I'm going to open it to questions. Let's try to be organized, Paul. We don't have that yet. They're doing other testing on that. I expect that we'll get it. I'm pretty confident that it will be a homicide. I don't have much question about that, as you can tell. That's why we filed charges even before we had the two bodies. But the medical examiner could not say yesterday what the exact cause of manner was yet without the further tests.
Is it accurate that it was about a 2-hour search before the bodies were located?
This particular
Yes.
search in this limited area was about 2 hours, correct?
Then can you describe how you were able to be so efficient in that to get you the information that they were in that area?
See, good question.
I can't tell you how the information came about. We were aware that Mr. Wolf is familiar with this area up here. We think I was actually advised of this morning, recreations up there, like fishing, things like that. There are other areas within the Weyerhaeuser property that we believe he's actually had permits before to cut firewood or up in that area.
This is cool. This is all what that was told to me way earlier in the day yesterday.
But did you not get any information?
That's why I drove out there.
To say,
Couldn't pass it up.
This was just really good detective. Good putting pieces together, going through to begin to narrow the area that they needed.
so Mr. Wolf hasn't told you that where the bodies were?
Thanks, Rachel.
The bodies were found by the workmen of the detectives.
Could you tell us a little bit more about some of the evidence that you initially collected that made you believe that Mr. Wolf was connected to their missing?
I'm trying to think. Obviously.
What are you talking about, Pierrot, Pep, whatever the hell your name is? What are you talking about?
I think he's been charged now 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks plus ago. He was arrested and was charged. As the investigation went on, and this has been in the press already, so I'm not saying anything that hasn't been said, there really was no other person who had, as we could tell, anything to gain from her death. So whether or not we can say exactly what the motive is, we certainly have working theories on that. But that's how the investigators began to hone in on Mr. Wolf as a suspect, and then ultimately hone in on the investigation into many things, his comings and goings and things like that.
I guess maybe I'm not asking you, but
Well, you probably are, but I'm probably avoiding giving you details.
Is there physical evidence that you can tell us about that was found?
There is physical evidence that has been found. I will tell you there have been, I'm not quite sure, I'm going to turn to these guys. We have 20 search warrants so far? Probably close to 20 search warrants have been obtained and executed in this investigation. No, that's not an exact number, but there have been a lot of them. And through that, piece after piece was gathered and put this together along with other information that the officers developed.
You found a firearm used in the
Yeah, congratulations, Jules.
shooting.
I can tell you I found a firearm. I can't tell you if it's the firearm.
Can you say if Mr. Wolf's wife is a cooperating witness, or is she, what her involvement, if any, would be in this?
No, I can't say one way or the other.
Is she a person of interest?
I would say that we continue to look to see was there anybody else involved in this, and she certainly would have as much access to Mr. Wolf as anybody. But I'm not going to say that she's a person of interest or a suspect.
There were reports in the media that she was involved in some type of harassment, or however you would say it, of Karissa prior to Karissa's death.
And I'm unfamiliar with that. It may well be accurate, but I'm unfamiliar with it.
Can you talk about the condition of the was it apparent?
I don't know. I don't really want an email from Pepe. I don't know what he's talking about.
No, not initially. It wasn't, and I got to be really careful. I can't get into the details. Obviously, we're releasing a lot of evidentiary information that we have. The bodies
Oh, my
were
God.
partially hidden, maybe more partially, but they were hidden. So it took some time for the investigators. They believed what they had, but it actually took, with the assistance of the crime lab, bringing them to an area where they could be looked at and determined that, in fact, we believed at the time, I got the call, I was in Eugene when I got the call actually from the sheriff that they'd been found, and they believed that it was all consistent with the size and two bodies. But it wasn't until the lab...
Yeah, but she's been missing a long time. Nobody found her.
...that we verified that, in fact, that's what we have. And then it wasn't until yesterday at the autopsy...
It's not really that interesting.
...they finally confirmation from the medical examiner.
There's no way to find that out.
In a very heavily wooded area.
And what does it mean?
Well, they obviously found it. So there were parts of the, again, I can't get into too much detail, but ultimately they were identified. There was debris and other things that were covering them, but not completely to the point where it couldn't discover them.
I don't think so,
Natural debris,
Patty.
like undergrowth or something.
I would not term it natural, but the debris covering it was...
Oh my God! Look at it! Oh my God! It was a psyops. He was fake there for a second.
You were like in the U.S. this area before, and nothing came out.
The sheriff can probably point out better where the other searches were.
Yeah, so based on some of the initial areas, we had several different locations we wanted to look at. And so about 1.5 miles up was one particular area that we set up a command post and searched that area a couple weeks ago. And then
Yeah, the wife might have something to do with it.
brought in another group of searchers, approximately 40 to 50 individuals, and identified another area, and we set up a command post in a similar spot, and then divvied all the resources out to that area. That's one of the reasons why we're able to, within short order, come across it, because of the amount of people we have over searching.
Is this private property?
It is. It belongs to Warehouse.
And how long did you guys decide, at what point did you decide to research this area before you actually found the body?
We've been looking.
Yeah, there have been multiple searches in various areas, as you know, when the case first broke. I think your question is how long before they went up there to do the search had they decided to go back and do the search? Yeah, I do know that...
It's Oogla Boogla. There's no A after the G.
I don't know whether to say that they went up there to kind of, it's probably not fair to say to dry run, to kind of get the lay of the land, see if there are areas up there that were of interest. They did not locate anything at the time, but that was not a major search effort like the one from Saturday that went into this particular area and honed in on that area.
And forgive me, I guess my question is, did you guys get a tip on Saturday to then relaunch the search in this area?
No, the information leading them to that spot has been gathered over time.
And that information was simply that he liked to hunt and fish up there, that he was known to go in that area?
There's really a lot more than that, but I can't get into that part of the details of the investigation. That's really pretty sensitive stuff. Yeah.
How many people were out helping on Saturday?
Sure.
Man, I'd sure like to know how they did that.
Anywhere between 40 to 50 searchers between Washington County have their Explorer SAR group out. We've had some help with North Star.
Makes you wonder too, maybe if somebody had a surveillance camera on a house that filmed him go up there at a certain time.
Plus the McMinnville Fire Department.
Probably
As well as their officers
some
from
FBI kind of info.
City of Union police also out there.
I realize it's really pretty officers, but were there any obvious signs of trauma, tooling, anything that's
I can't answer that. I did not attend the autopsy. My chief deputy was actually there. and I don't think anybody here was at the autopsy, so I don't have the answer to that question.
Would you describe Mr. Wolf as cooperative or uncooperative to your investigation?
I don't want to characterize that. You know, I think that gets into areas where potentially it could be developed in a way that try to cast a light on him.
Good for you,
that's
Pep.
favorable
Good
to
for
the
you.
state and unfavorable to him. So I don't want to go there.
Maybe when, where murders occurred.
Yes. So we know that they were kidnapped on the night of the 13th, May 13th, into the early morning hours of the 14th. We are confident
Hey, Destiny.
from information we have that they were dead by the 16th.
See what?
I can't tell you
Hey.
that. We are confident from information we have that they were dead by the 16th. I can't tell you that I have information that tells me exactly it happened on the early morning hours.
Why don't they ask, how do you know they were dead on the
I can't answer
16th?
that. We know we have that next step where we can. I can say that I know by the 16th they were deceased.
How
Ah.
about the where?
Well, see, that might be interesting, because maybe he did bury the bodies on the 16th, and they know that that's when they were dead by, because they are certain that his vehicle drove up into that area on the 16th to deposit the bodies. I think you can kind of get that from what he's saying, because that's really the only way you'd know that, right? How would you know that they were dead even on the 16th? How would you know that unless he told you? But if he didn't tell you, the way you would know is that his car was seen in the area where they were found on the 16th, and he hadn't been back since. That's what I would say. So, some kind of a camera, some sort of ultra, whatever the hell the FBI uses. They seem to have some crazy shit out there. There's stuff that we don't know about, but there's a lot of stuff that the police locate a body, and you just always wonder, how in the hell did they find that? Because there's something they can do that we're just not really aware of. Okay? So I think that's how they know for sure they were dead by the 16th, is because that's interesting then, right? Because that means, what was he doing with the bodies for 2 days, if that is factual? I still like the theory that he killed him at the house. It was late at her apartment, parked in that alley, then moved him into his truck, went to work, threw away some of the items, changed clothes, got back into his vehicle, drove out, dumped bodies, and went home. That makes more sense to me than kind of keeping the bodies somewhere. I don't know.
Again, I honestly don't know. We have some ideas, but not exactly.
Oh man.
I don't know what kind it is, personally.
And we don't know whether it was used in the commission of the...
We do not. Not as of yet, but certainly down.
Was it found with the body?
Oh boy.
It was not.
Necrophiliac, Jesus. Why don't you put a smiley face after that?
It was first searches on some of the initial searches that were done. So we're talking now around probably towards the 19th, 20th, I think, is when the first searches were done.
It's not. No, yes, it's possible. 1 in a trillion.
Oh, like out here? No, it was not.
That's not what he did. He killed him. He didn't kill her for sex. Okay, so there's almost zero chance that necrophilia has anything to do with this case. Okay.
Actually, a lot of media has been verifying that he will be arraigned on the indictment on the 20th. I talked to his attorney minutes before I came down here. He's asking to move it to the 21st because he has another hearing in Multnomah County on the 20th. I don't want to characterize that way, that try to cast a light on him that is favorable to this. That's one of the reasons I didn't locate anything at the time. But that went into this particular area. Leading them to that spot has been gathered over time.
We had about, I want to say anywhere between some help with.
As well as their officers from Oregon State. I did not attend the autopsy. My chief, it could be developed in a way that. Yes. So we know that they were kidnapped on the night of the 13th.
See there, yeah. See that? The kidnapped on the night of the 13th. See, what does that mean exactly over there? Okay. So they were kidnapped into the night of the 13th. Because we know that he was there from 9 until 9:45, and then his phone wasn't doing anything, but then around 1 something, it started pinging heading back to work. So I'm not really sure what he's saying in this case by kidnapping. Yeah.
The early morning hours of the 14th. We are confident from information we have that they were dead by the 16th. I can't tell you that I have information that tells me exactly it happened on the early morning hours of the 14th. I can't answer that. We know we have that next step where we can. I can say that I know by the 16th they were deceased.
How about the where? Location of.
Again, I honestly don't know. We have some ideas, but not exactly. I don't know.
That's interesting. Maybe they were forced out of the house. I don't know. The apartment, I mean.
Not as of yet. There's certainly that.
Was it found with the bodies?
It was not.
Was it found? When was it found? Timeline.
First search. I think it was first searches on some of the initial searches that were done. So we're talking now around probably towards the 19th, 20th, I think, is when the first searches were done.
Can you say where?
So it wasn't out in the woods.
Out?
It wasn't like.
Oh, like out here?
Yeah.
No, it was not.
Were the bodies found together?
They were. That's a good question. Actually, a lot of media has been verifying that he will be arraigned on the indictment on the 20th. I talked to his attorney a minute before I came down here. He asked me to move it to the 21st because he has another hearing in Multnomah County on the 20th that he's not sure he'll be done in time to get out here for it. So, again, check with us. I'm expecting it now to be on the 21st. To answer your question, he'll be on video.
At the same time?
1:30. 1:30, yes.
Brad, as horrible as it is to make this discovery, I guess there's some closure there, but also, can you just describe what that means for the investigation? Is this a huge step forward? What other avenues might open up? Or just characterize what this discovery means for the investigation?
A couple of things. As we were, this was really tough on investigators out there. Obviously that they've been working, and I mean relentlessly, to find these two. But at the same time, it was really hard. It was a really hard discovery that they made. So, as far as from the prosecution, from the case getting put together, it's a very different type of prosecution where we actually have the bodies than if we didn't. I felt that we had sufficient evidence to endorse him being arrested on it, to approach a grand jury on this, but certainly without the bodies, the case was a very different case, a tough case.
Well,
moving forward.
Well, here's the thing is...
I'm not going to say it cements the case. Obviously, he's got the right to put...
He's toast, okay? It's cemented. So I just looked up Oregon. It says, kidnapping is the crime of taking a person against their will to an undisclosed location. Wow. This may be done for ransom or furtherance of another crime or in connection with a child custody dispute. So how does that work? No, that would be something different. Oregon laws classify kidnapping into two categories: first degree and second degree. First degree, after you took them, you cause physical injury to the victim, to terrorize the victim. And then, I don't know if this is second degree. Yeah, second degree, if the intent to interfere substantially with another's personal liberty and without consent or legal authority, takes the person from one place to another, or secretly confines the person in a place where the person is not likely to be found. So neither of these fit. So wow. If you go by if he's saying the truth and Oregon law, then that means, when I say the truth, I mean that he's speaking accurately, that it was a kidnapping, then that means he did move them. Because both of them have that in there, right? You had to move them from one place to an undisclosed another place. So wow. I'm going to have to go over and kind of rethink that timeline then. I mean, I don't know. Where were they? When he went back to work, where were they? Do you think that he didn't go back to the apartment after that, did he? I mean, why would he do that? Because he didn't. Here's the thing, is he was in Salem at 9, and then 9:45 his phone was still pinging in Salem. And then it wasn't until after 1, late, let's see what time that was. Yeah, 1:38, his phone starts moving from her apartment back towards his work. And then he arrives back at work at 2:35, and then at 2:52, he's seen leaving his work again. So where were those bodies at, during this time when he went back to work? Handcuffed and gagged in his car? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, I guess what he could have done was forced him into the car and then driven someplace not too far from her apartment, killed them, and then put him in his car, and that would still be considered kidnapping. I guess, but I mean, you're in a parking lot at a business. You could be pounding on the trunk while he was inside. It seems really risky. He wouldn't do that. Yeah, they didn't see anything. Well, they saw that all of her stuff was in the house and that the TV was still on. That's what that neighbor said. But I just thought maybe he was just really careful about it. But apparently if she was shot in the head, there's no way you could hide all spatter from that. Yeah, I don't know. Drugging just sounds kind of something out of a movie, although that happens. Yeah, maybe he did. Maybe he went over there, drugged him, loaded up in his car. But I mean, how could he be sure that they'd stay under? I don't know. I'm really interested now to see how this all went down. It's pretty interesting. Thank you, Cian.
Super guy. Sorry, Bon Jovi 1. Love you.
Bon Jovi? Yeah.
Put forth a defense. I don't know what that defense will be yet. I don't know if it's didn't do it or something else. So I'm not going to speculate on that.
Probable cause affidavit mentions some trash bag has been in the bag that got covered and
Not to the knowledge. Well, it's relevant in the sense that it wasn't there when he left, and it was there when he came back. But beyond that, we haven't covered
Oh, jeez. I think I've got, like, you know what? My fireplace is open to keep heat from,
Just one more time to be clear.
to let heat rise, but I'm wondering if pollen's coming down the fireplace. I sit right next to it. I bet that's it.
I will tell you pieces of things that were narrowing the area, the scope. And now remember, they were, as the sheriff said, they were in another area that.
No, I don't need antibiotics, Ada. I went to the doctor.
The first time? Well, from the entrance into the next.
I've already said that on the show.
So, and that was a good week plus before, I think, when they were out there the first time. So as the information came, and really as the detectives on this case began to get information and narrow it down, it began to focus on this area. And it was they just didn't find them the first time out. As close as, I appreciate the sheriff saying that, as close as they were, they just didn't find them.
Yeah, so they searched there a while ago and didn't find anything.
It's a lot of work putting information together. They kept saying, this is where we need to go look again. I think technically it was the McMinnville Fire Department folks who made the actual discovery, who were involved in the search.
Nice.
Anything else? Appreciate everybody being here. And I'm saying this selfishly because it's a lot easier for me to do this once than to answer 20 calls, so I appreciate you being here and taking the time.
All right. Awesome. That didn't take them that long. You talk. Look where they were, in the middle of the woods. I think it's a miracle that they found the bodies. Without his help, it sounds like. Okay? But it's not a miracle at all. It's detective work. All right. So, anyways, I think that's going to be it for the show tonight. I got to go get this pollen off of me. Yeah, I'll do the Grand Canyon again. But all right, so thank you to Lanky Tor a couple times, ESVK, Lanky Tor again, and Cian Beecham. Appreciate it. Oh, and then also and Julia Rule. She helps out a lot with the different articles and so forth. Appreciate it. That's okay, Lanky Tor. You don't have to keep... I appreciate it, but, you know. I feel bad that you seem to be...
Please check out Three Men and a Mystery podcast. very much appreciate everyone. Thank you.
Hey, thanks everyone.
Great show tonight. Great. Thanks. Hugging. Frankie ain't the only one who deserves tonight. Having it gone through. Thanks, Ray. Feel better smiling face with 3 hearts.
Good night, Freak!
Wow. Hey, thank you to Lanky Tor, Donna V, and Destiny Blazik at the buzzer. I appreciate it. And Blue has already gone to sleep. I'm hoping my stupid congestion, well, that's not really, I don't even know what it is, it's just irritation of my lungs quits because it's bugging me. I don't like it. Yeah, I just saw Andy 2 days ago. He seems to, he's doing pretty well. I mean, it's like, wow, he kind of seems like he was before. He did have some radiation on a couple little spots, but apparently he got rid of those too, so he's going to start some experimental thing here too pretty soon, so hopefully it all works out. All right, everybody. Thank you all for showing up tonight and following along. Oh, wow, look at that. Jana fan. Honey's Cough Drops. I'll check them out. Oh, shit. All right, everybody. Thank you for showing up tonight. And, as always, until next time, be safe out there. Oh, wait. Let me read your... Oh, it didn't say, but it said, money for honeys. That shit could have been a rap. Money for honey. Cough drops. We love you, Gray. Thanks for all you do. Well, I feel the same way of all you, everybody. I mean, it's like, I don't know. Even if I'm not feeling good, I feel weird not doing a show, you know? It's like, it's kind of what we do. But anyways, I appreciate you, everybody. Sorry that the Jen out there got so disappointed in something that never happened. Maybe you should go check yourself into a facility and figure out what the hell's going on with yourself. But that's about it, everybody. So until next time, everybody, be safe out there.